You know, this is why Prince William, His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, literally wants Harry and Meghan off the website, the royal website. They are a public embarrassment, lurching from one disaster after another. And when you think about it, it truly is something of a disaster. And also, particularly when you look at somebody like Harry and you realise that people are telling him time and time and time again to stop doing it. But of course, he has no handle on the cost or indeed the repercussions that are going on behind the scenes. Let me explain. Morning, how are you? You all right? I'm all right, thank you. Nice to see you today, and as ever, thank you so much for your company. By the way, I'm glad you're enjoying the new batch of flowers. Yes, they're all coming out now, aren't they? Isn't it? So we'll have a nice wave. Nice to see you, chums. Isn't it nice, though, when you see all those new flowers coming out? All those great colours as well. I just love looking at them, you know. As you know, the hay fever nightmare. And by the way, I know many of you mentioned the banana jammy dodgers, right? Yeah, I'm still out on those, got to be honest. I think jammies are jammies, you know. Why didn't they call them banana dodgers as well? Have you noticed that on the packets? Jammy dodgers, banana flavour. Just banana dodgers. I know, I should have shares in this company. I know more about it than them, you know what I mean? But it's funny, isn't it? I don't know if you find that when you go to those sort of, I'm not shy at all, I go to these discount stores, you know, and sometimes you find things in there, other flavours that you don't see. And it can be, can't it, soups and from Baxter's or something, vastly reduced. And you think, never seen this flavour in my supermarket before. That's why I like scooting around those, do you? And those things you buy that you thought you never needed. Yes. Well, yeah, you know what I mean. You might get a horse one day, so why don't you need a stable? You know? But you know what I mean? The middle aisle at Lidl is it, or at Aldi, I never know which one. There's always something you look at and think, do I need this hanging off my shower? Chances are you don't, chums, but there we are. We're all a sucker for a bargain, aren't we? Now, somebody who's not a sucker for a bargain is this man, Prince Harry. He's cost the British taxpayer £100,000 through his own literal stupidity. We're talking, of course, about not only is he a public embarrassment, but the fact that, you know, you've got a petulant man-child at 41 years old who decided once again to push forward to demand security for his invisible children and his wife, Meghan Markle, who is never going to return back here to the United Kingdom. But Harry seemingly thinks it's stupid enough to believe that people think that he will. You know, there's no way that's happening. She knows she's loathed here. She's not that stupid. So consequently, this played well into her hands and well, of course, into the coffers of 100,000 for the taxpayer. The thing is, as I said at the start of this video, this is part of the reason why His Royal Highness Prince William wants them off the website, because this is just a monumental embarrassment. Harry was told by his team in no uncertain terms that, you know, he couldn't win this. This was, again, just rolling the dice for the second time. Remember, this was an appeal, not the original. So he could have walked away and saved a lot more money. What's interesting here also is he actually said, I wish somebody had told me we'd had no chance of winning on the BBC interview. It's ridiculous. People did tell him, he just didn't want to know. He's stubborn and, of course, thought he could win. Thought he was going to walk away like he did with the interview, remember, with the New York Times, when he said, I'll slay the dragon of the news barons. And then suddenly at the 11th hour capitulated and took the money. This time around, though, the taxpayer, and this is where Harry and Meghan, I believe, are thrilled with stuff like this, because this makes the Not My King Brigade come out in force and say, look at that, they're just wasting your money. 100,000 could have gone on healthcare, and they're right. This is the problem, they're right. And I fully agree with William that this is now the time to remove them. They are a public embarrassment. Now, many people are suggesting that Harry should, and, you know, should be forced to pay the £100,000 back. He lost the case. Why should the British taxpayer, the Home Office, the government, have to pick up that bill? I'd love to know what you think, as this is literally mounting on a daily basis. So as ever, chums, let me know your thoughts. Be polite, kind and respectful in the comments below. But I'd love to know, should Harry now have that bill put on top of his bill? What do you think? Neil Sean, Kensington, London.